What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Finance Friday. I am very, very glad to have you guys on here. I really hope that you enjoyed your Christmas. It's 3 days past Christmas. I know us guys are still celebrating. Maybe you're still resting and maybe you're still chilling. So I'm really happy that you've taken the time to hop onto this channel and hear what we have to say today. Now, as per usual, your finance coach is here to bang, bang, bang into your ears before the year ends. And I've been thinking, and it's I guess 3 days to the new year. And one of the things that I've really been thinking about is how our experience with money in 2024 can get a bit better. And one of the things I've picked up on, obviously, because I work a lot with people who want to better their finances, one of the biggest challenges that people have been struggling with this year has definitely been debt. Bad debt, consumer debt, and one of the things that I think can revolutionize your experience with money is how you handle debt and how you strategically can ensure that you stay out of it. So in today's episode, I want to talk to you guys about 5 types of debt that we are absolutely canceling in 2024. In other words, we are not bringing that into the new year. Okay, so let's get straight into it. The first type of debt that we need to cancel in 2024 is definitely consumer debt. Let me tell you guys, taking out a loan to finance a lifestyle is always going to be a mistake, no matter which way you try to look at it. And I know we've had this conversation here below, but like a reminder never hurts. If you want to experience a better relationship with your money, or if you want your money to make better sense in the new year, you need to think about consumer debt. Now, let's first of all understand what consumer debt is. Consumer debt is pretty much money that you are taking out or a loan that you're taking out to finance your lifestyle. So I'm talking, let's say, like I know we've probably done that already this festive season, because maybe you received your money and then of course you spent a lot of it doing some Christmas shopping and traveling and all that, and your salary is over. So what do? We go to the mobile loans. We use our credit cards if we have access to that. And this money that we are taking out is specifically to finance our lifestyles, or pretty much to kind of like help us move around. That is consumer debt. And the thing is this, as long as you're trying to take out loans, or you're going broke in order to look rich, it's not sustainable in the long term. And this is one of the reasons in 2023, a lot of the things that a lot of the queries that I was getting and a lot of the people that I was helping as a personal finance coach needed help in terms of getting out of debt. And it is such a slow fade, guys. You never notice it happening. You just start very slowly. It's the random teller to push you to the end of the month, or the using or rather maxing out your credit card just so that you can buy this thing or get this other thing. And eventually you find yourself heavily dependent on consumer debt. This is not money for investment purposes. This is not money to put into a business. This is not money that is going to help you increase your wealth. This is money you're taking out to facilitate your survival. We need to cancel consumer debt in 2024, because consumer debt really is just, it's living a life you cannot afford. Clearly, you are living above your means. But then it's allowed. Why? Because I can always take out a loan to finance that. So what are we supposed to do? Obviously, there's a lot of reasons a lot of us find ourselves in consumer debt. But the most apparent reason is living above our means. I earn 50,000, for example, but I want to live a life that costs me 87,000 or 100,000+. Obviously, I am going to be in a vicious cycle of debt. Consumer debt is the modern man's slavery, if you'd ask me, because a lot of us are stuck. There are a lot of suicidal cases. There are a lot of people who cannot, like, when you think about money, you get sick, you have anxiety, you cannot, like, you're trying to think how to get out of it and you really can't. That's what consumer debt will do for you, because it's a loan that you took out, or rather loans that you've taken out, but you have nothing tangible to show for them. So please note that we are canceling consumer debt in 2024. We must live within our means. The second kind of debt I honestly feel we should cancel in the new year is taking out loans for new businesses that you do not have proof of concept for. Yes, you're doing farming over there or considering taking out a loan for farming and you have never done farming in your life. And honestly, when we look at what you have, you just have very good reviews from people who have actually done farming, but you've never done it before. Now, I have nothing against taking loans for business expansion or a business where you already have proof of concept, but too many of us are actually taking loans to start businesses where we know nothing about. You do not have proof of concept, you've not done proper research, you've not even done your market segmentation, you've actually not done the work to, first of all, establish that this money I'm actually taking out is actually going to benefit me in the business, and it's not just gonna, the business is going to tank and it's gonna leave me in debt. So why are we not taking loans for new businesses? What are the options that are there for us? Number one, you can look at it, and by loans, I mean especially the financial institution loans, because as long as you owe a bank, as long as you owe a SACCO, as long as you owe a microfinance, whether that business prospers or not, or whether it actually works out or not, you're still required to pay. And I talk to so many people. In fact, I put up a question sticker just a few days ago on my Instagram, and I was asking people about some of the loan mistakes that they made this year. And I got a lot of people who took out loans to start businesses. So the businesses tanked, but they're still in loans, and they're still paying back the money right now. So what are we saying? What merits taking out a business loan? So we are talking whether you're doing a farming business, an Uber business, you want to start a store in town, or you even want to enter into the export business. Your friend who already does this business telling you that it's working out for them, it's not enough grounds to go ahead and take out a loan for this business. I always tell people, how do you establish proof of concept? Number one, always answer the question of what problem am I solving in the market? Because some of the most successful entrepreneurs are people who actually are solving an existing problem. Like there's a gap in the market. So have you actually identified the gap? Or are you just entering another flooded market where you're just going to be another business person in that area who's struggling to get customers? Number two, you need to also identify your target market. Like when you start this business, who is your target market? Is it women? How do you market to them? Is it young professionals? Is it people who are primarily online? Is it people who are passionate about fashion? You need to figure out who exactly your target market is. Number three, you need to do your projections. You must have already done what it's going to cost you to start the business. In other words, the capital investment that is needed to start that business. But most importantly, I always encourage people to project. Like, will I actually make back this money? So let's assume you took out a loan, and in this loan, you're required by the financial institution to pay back, let's even say 20K a month, okay? So the projection here ideally would be, is this business actually going to make me a bare minimum of 20,000 every month in such a way that on the bare minimum, I'm able to pay back this loan? But if you're actually having to go back to your pocket for 6 months, 7 months to pay back this loan, but the business is not making you any money, then you hadn't taken enough time to kind of like establish proof of concept. I know this is a very tough thing to understand, because you're probably like over there wondering, coach, so if you don't want me to take a loan for my business, where exactly am I going to get money? Again, guys, I've been talking sinking funds the whole of this year. You want to save up for some of these business ideas. And if you must take out money or you must borrow money, try see if you can get very low interest or no interest at all. So I'm talking, I would explore soft loans from family or friends, and then be very honest with this person that this is actually money to start a business, and ask these people to give you some runway. Like, I'm going to start paying you back this money, let's say like after 6 months, because you're thinking in 6 months, I'll have already established this business and we'll have started getting some cash flow. So what am I saying? In 2024, if you do not have proof of concept, if you've not done proper research, if you have not done projections, if you've not examined your skill set, your strength, your ability to network, and you've seen exactly how it's going to benefit you starting this business, avoid taking loans for these new businesses. The third kind of debt that we should absolutely cancel in 2024 is taking out loans for things that can absolutely be planned for and saved up for. I am talking weddings, I'm talking home improvements, I am talking tech purchases. Yes, I said it. If we are actually being honest, by the time you're meeting someone and falling in love with them and deciding that I'm going to start a family with this person, you probably know that that is going to cost you a bit of money. I mean, even if you do not have the money, there is also an aspect of like doing what is within your means. Now, I know some of you are probably going to come in the comment section and be like, yo, listen, even doing an Adrian's wedding now is, out of our budget. The Kenyan economy has become very interesting. But generally what I'm saying is that the moment you actually start seeing someone and like you're very like intentional about it, please guys, start saving up a year or 2 years before you actually have to do your weddings or even your traditional weddings. There is absolutely nothing as dangerous as starting a new family on the premise of debt already. Another thing that we need to avoid now is this, and I can see them all over the place. The adverts, the billboards are everywhere. Us guys are still taking loans for buying fridges and air fryers and things that you need in the house. I'm going to come for you today. This needs to end in 2023 because, again, these are sinking fund costs, guys. These are things that can absolutely be planned for and saved up for. I know it looks very convincing. I know unalipa pole pole and the amounts are actually manageable. But the truth of the matter is that most of the times, if you actually run the numbers and you run the math, of course, it's higher purchase. You're going to pay much, much more than what you would have ideally paid had you just paid for this thing cash. Now, I'm not saying that, I'm not attacking this, plans and all that. But remember, guys, today we are talking about debt freedom. Freeing yourself from the shackles of the slavery that is owing people. Some of you are even buying phones. And when you don't make the payment, it's standoff. How is that freedom? You're buying a car on loan, and when you do not actually pay it, it's switched off on the highway. How is that freedom? Are we honestly planning to keep embarrassing ourselves like this in 2024? Anything that can be planned for, sinking fund costs, let's say you want to change your curtains. Let's even talk about home improvements. You want to change your carpet. You want to renovate your parents' home or your home. Again, I have not heard of an emergency there. All of these things can be saved up for and planned for. But because mobile loans and this hire purchase and these people who loan us money make it so easy to get these loans overnight. Like if you want that loan today or even right now as you're watching this video, you just have to log into a website or an app and you've actually been able to buy a fridge. And this is exactly what I mean when I say debt really is slavery. Like you are allowed, like you can actually live a life that you cannot afford. Buy a fridge that you can clearly not afford right now. Buy a phone that you can clearly not afford right now. Buy even a car that you can clearly not afford right now because these things are there. But if you have ever had a financial institution come for you because you are a defaulter or you've not made your payments, you know exactly what I mean when I say it is not worth it. These things that can be planned for are actual sinking fund costs. It is easier for you to take out a loan than it is to budget and to plan. And that, guys, is a problem. We need to leave that in this old year, and in the new year, we need to prioritize budgeting. We need to prioritize sinking funds. We need to prioritize saving, and that's the only way to experience debt freedom. The fourth loan that I genuinely, in fact, this one, I feel it so deeply. We need to leave it behind is taking loans for family members. If I had $1 for every time a client has come to me deep in debt, and the reason why they're deep in debt is because they took out a loan for a family member, a brother, a sister, a father, an uncle. Some of us are even taking loans for our boyfriends and our girlfriends. Like if I had $1 for the number of people that have come to me deep in debt because of that, I'd be a rich woman, guys. It is becoming a pandemic. And I'm just going to put it very plainly at the risk of sounding very draconian and as if I don't care so much. But I want to ask you guys a question. This person is an adult of sound mind, they are of good health, and they are fully capable of taking responsibility over themselves. Why are you going ahead to take out a loan for them in your name, knowing full well that the financial institution or the bank is going to come for you in case this person does not honor their word in terms of, let's say the agreement was for them to pay, okay? Or if at all they do not pay at all, then you've taken that burden upon yourself. Black tax is a whole conversation that we've been having. And I know this year I've been very open even regarding my own struggles with black tax and how I was able to cap it at a manageable level. And one of the things that we need to understand is boundaries. And I always tell people, again, I want you to ask yourself, as I'm taking out this loan for this person, am I genuinely helping or am I enabling this person? Genuinely helping is that this person is not capable whatsoever, like maybe for health reasons or, just something very like it's out of their control and they can absolutely not take care of themselves. And you decide, you know what, I'm going to take out a loan for this person. Now, my advice for you is that even if you're genuinely like helping a genuine and a legitimate help case, I want you to have it at the back of your mind that this person who has promised you that once they get their act together or once they get a job or once their finances look up, they're going to pay you back, there is always a 50% chance that they may or may not pay you back. So even as you proceed to go to that circle, to that bank, to that microfinance, to take out a loan for that family member, I need you to have it at the back of your mind that chances are you might actually end up paying it yourself. And with that knowledge, I need you to also ask yourself if you're willing and ready and capable with your income and your paycheck to be able to service that loan in case this person ghosts you or in case this person completely refuses to honor their commitment. Okay? So once you actually look at it like that, you can examine your paycheck and look at whether am I actually able to sustain that? Again, a lot of us are merely doing enabling. This person is educated. Again, they are of sound mind, good health. I don't understand why us guys are still taking loans for family members. Most of why we do this is because so many of us are still unable to say no. And I've said this in this channel before, no is a sign of maturity. Okay? So many of us are still taking some of these loans because we are unable to draw boundaries. Okay? So many of us are still doing these things because you are unable to have an uncomfortable money conversations with someone close to you and tell them, I'm not able to do this. I need you to get your act together. In 2024, if you are still taking out loans for family members, if black tax has gotten to that point that beyond supporting their bills, now you're also taking loans, then you're going to be in trouble. We need to cancel this kind of debt and leave it here in 2023. Okay? The fifth kind of loan that I genuinely think we need to be careful with in the new year is taking out loans for investments or ventures that do not pay you more than the interest loan, or rather more than the interest rate of the loan. Now, let's do a bit of math here. Let me just take a minute to explain that. What justifies taking out loans for investment purposes? Now, this is where the comparison of good debt and bad debt comes in. So good debt is definitely money that you're taking out for investment purposes, to buy assets, or even start a business. In other words, this loan is going to increase your capacity to either become wealthy or to bring in additional income, okay? And then obviously consumer debt or bad debt is everything we've just mentioned right now, okay? Now, when you're thinking, is it worth it? Is it actually worth it to take out this loan? Is it worth it to, most of you guys will ask me, Coach, can I take out a loan to buy a piece of land? Is it advised to take out a loan and start this business or start this venture? Is it advised for me to take out this loan and invest it in a bond or invest it in a project with my circle? Now, there is no straightforward answer to that, but I can tell you this. There are only two ways, there are two very important ways to look at it. Number one, you might want to look at it from the perspective of return. Now, let me give you a good example. If I took out a loan with my circle and the interest rate of the loan is around 12% per annum, or maybe even 11% per annum, whether it's reducing balance or not, that's approximately what we're working with. And I'm taking out this money so that I can purchase a bond and now bonds are very lucrative. So we are talking 17.5%. So you see, if my loan is 11 or 12% from my SACCO and the bond is actually paying me, say, 17.5%, I'm actually able, like the return I'm actually getting from this investment is higher than the cost of the debt. In other words, the 12% I have to pay back can be paid back by this by this loan, and then of course I still have like an additional 5% or 6% left as my income or as my return from this investment. Now that kind of debt makes sense. The debt that we are leaving behind in 2023 is the kind of debt whereby you've actually taken out a loan, you've invested in an asset or in a venture that pays you less than the cost of the debt. So in other words, you're paying so much money, so you're probably paying like 12-13% on this loan, or let's even retain it at the same 12 or 11%. But like the return of this asset that you've bought, it's probably zero because it's not yet giving you income. Or if it is land, again, you need to be careful about the appreciation rate of this particular piece of land. A lot of us are also apparently investing in assets and investing in ventures in groups and with our friends. And when we actually calculate the return of this investment, it does not even come close to paying you the cost of the debt. So what you've just done zero work. Guys, honestly, if you borrow a loan to do an investment or to buy an asset and that asset doesn't pay you at least the cost of the debt upwards, then you've not done anything. You've literally, it's not a good investment loan. So we need to leave that behind in 2023. What do we need to do? We need to equip ourselves with financial literacy. I always tell people, don't say that I do not know how to calculate the return of this investment. Learn how to calculate the return of that investment. If you're doing table banking, I'm actually seeing a lot of us even do like table banking, and you're taking out loans just because you need to take out the loan. I mean, not because you need to take out the loan, but because you're required to take out the loan. And I mean, this thing has never made sense to me. And maybe you guys can let me know in the comment section down below. We start a group, we start doing, table banking of sorts. And I don't need a loan for any reason whatsoever. But because I'm in the group and we are required to take out loans and pay back with an interest just so that we can grow the funds, then what we end up doing is that some of us are even taking loans for something that we do not need. Now, if you need a loan, there's nothing wrong with doing table banking or even being in a SACCO. But some of you guys need to take your money elsewhere. Take out your money from that table banking plan that requires you to take out loans all the time, even when you don't need it, and find investments that will comfortably pay you a return that has nothing to do with taking out debt. Okay, guys? So I really hope that this video was helpful and impactful as we think about getting into 2024 in the next couple of days. Really, really think, and especially if you're watching me and you're either in debt or you've been contemplating taking out some of these loans, I need you to have a very honest conversation with yourself. Is this needed? Is this necessary? And when you think about the long-term vision or the long-term plan or these goals that you have for yourself in 2024, is this debt going to get you closer to financial freedom, get you closer to financial wellness, or is it going to actually dig you deeper in a state of like your finances are in ICU? Debt is not something to play with, and the only reason you should take out debt is if it is actually proven that because of taking out this money, your life is actually going to be bettered, and not just for people to see, but also in your bank accounts and in your own personal finances when no one is watching. It needs to also be making you better. If that is not the case, we want to avoid all these kinds of debt at all costs. So again, I really hope that this was helpful. I'd like to take this opportunity, guys, to thank you so much for being with me here for the whole of 2023. We've had tough conversations, we've had enlightening conversations, we've learned a lot, and I can tell from your comments and from the feedback, so many of you have actually been coming to my email and giving me feedback and telling me, Coach, since I started watching your videos, I'm better with money management and my finances. And you guys, in case you don't know, you really, really positively impact me with your positive words, with your positive feedback, with the comments that you've been giving me and the emails that you've also been giving me. It's honestly been such a morale booster. I show up here as many Fridays as I can because of the kind of support that you guys have given me in 2023. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I hope that even as we start this new year, of course, I have a lot of amazing things in store for you. We are going to take this a notch higher. We are going to have more honest and vulnerable conversations. And I hope that I can help you even in 2024 to understand that financial literacy is not a rich people thing. It is highly accessible. It can be very simple as well, and it belongs to all of us. Again, thank you so much for supporting Susan Wanjiku as a brand, as a person, and thank you so much for supporting the Legacy Hub Kenya. I really do wish you guys a happy new year, and the next time I see you, we will probably be in 2024. Again, thank you so much, and God bless you.